claiming back territory isn't the same as it being secure. The soldiers moved into Irpin cautiously, despite, in the president's words, they'd liberated the town.
Is Irpin liberated? Is it free? Have you reclaimed Irpin?
Maybe.
Only so-so, they tell us. This commuter town near the capital has been the focus of intense Russian attacks for more than a month. None of these soldiers were taking anything for granted, despite the first major Russian concession since the start of the invasion.
So the area is clearly still not secure. And they're going in to try and find out just how much further the Russian troops have been pushed back.
The sounds of war rumbled on whilst the peace talks continued. Under Ukrainian martial law, we're not allowed to show this location. But any scaling back of Russian military operations around the capital come at a tremendous cost, with terrible destruction done to small towns like Irpin, which has been bombarded for weeks. Those still holding the lines around the capital are very sceptical about any cessation of hostilities. How many times have we heard about a ceasefire, the first fighter says. It's always just our side which sticks to it. Then we get attacked and we have to reply. The second man says the Russians haven't stuck to any agreement so far. The first time we set up a humanitarian corridor in Irpin, he tells us, they just attacked the civilian convoy. There are still civilians being taken out of the embattled town after more than 4 weeks of being trapped there. Many of them are elderly and not in very good health, those too scared to leave or with nowhere to go. Thank you, all of you, she says to the emergency crews. She's gently guided to a rest area. She can hardly carry the few belongings she's managed to take out with her. This has been a terrible ordeal for them all. She's still clearly shocked, barely able to speak. They've been living with almost constant attacks all this time. Do you have any place to go? Anyone who can help you, she's asked? I don't have anyone, she tells the emergency worker. I don't have anyone at all. Her husband and her have been sheltering in their basement for a month. She gulps her tea with sheer relief. It's her first hot drink for weeks. They've had no electricity, gas or water, and drank from their well with their food stocks running out. Any scaling down in the fighting comes twinned with so much heartache and suffering too. She tells us she's really worried she won't ever see her daughter and granddaughter again. The realization is really tough for her. Some said they'd been held captive by the Russian troops, herded into homes and used as shields to prevent Ukrainian attacks. When they came into our house, they took people from all around and put us all in one basement, Galina tells us. There were about 40 of us. And then around the house, they put one tank on one side and another tank on the other side, and a third in the yard. They've lost so much amid so much trauma. Our Irpin was so beautiful, Alla says. It's all completely destroyed now. There's plenty of destruction elsewhere too, in several villages surrounding the capital. This one, east of the country's main city, was apparently retaken 2 days ago, after much fighting and a lot of shelling. The military hardware now in Ukrainian hands is paraded as evidence of how the Russians have been beaten back. The offers by them to radically reduce some of their military activity will be viewed by the Ukrainian troops as an offer wrung out of them due to these successes on the battlefields around the capital. Alex Crawford, Sky News, on the outskirts of Kyiv.